Are you more likely to express your frustration with fellow Christians, or are you more likely to express how grateful you are for your fellow Christians? I don't know about you, but if you're like me, sometimes you have a tendency more towards the negative. You might focus on, oh, this relationship isn't quite right. This is a problem. These things are frustrating me. And it can be easy to become frustrated with our fellow believers because of mistakes they made, immaturity, our perception, all sorts of things can lead us to want to harp on and complain about how all these other Christians act. But I'm reminded of Second Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 13, which says this: "But we ought always to give thanks to God for you, brothers, beloved by the Lord, because God chose you as the first fruits from the beginning to be saved, though or through sanctification by the Spirit and belief in the truth." And so I want to encourage you and I, as we think about those who are fellow believers, other Christians, and we have this tendency to get kind of gruff or frustrated or grumpy, that we would instead actively choose to thank God. Actively choose to thank God for a Christian that you are frustrated with. What we see in this passage is that God loves them. And we want to have the eyes of God. We want to see people through this lens of God loves them. And so I'm empowered to love people as well. This passage talks about how God loves them, God chose them, God saved them, God is sanctifying, God is changing them, helping them to become more like Jesus. Sometimes when we get frustrated with fellow believers, it's because we think they're not being sanctified quickly enough. But one of the things that I've come into contact with over and over again is you have no idea how much God is working on someone from the outside. You don't know what they've come from. You don't know what they're going to. You don't know what their process is like and how God is drawing them and sanctifying them, changing them to become more like Him. And so when we see a fellow believer who is growing, maybe even if it's slowly growing, maybe even if we feel like they've taken a few steps backward recently, but someone who believes in the truth, believes in Jesus and His finished work on the cross, we should be thankful for them, whether we know them well or don't, whether they make us happy or tick us off. Our opportunity as we interact with others is really to actively choose to see them through the lens that God sees them, that He loves them, and to then be thankful for them as a result. Be thankful that God is working in their lives. Be thankful that they are growing in their faith. God bless.